Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. And we are in the throes of the holiday season. And with that, I've been doing frustration videos. I've been doing wish lists attached to those frustrations, getting other creators involved with those frustrations and wish lists. And I wanted to do a Christmas Eve wish list for one particular issuer at hand, and that is Chase. I have listed my frustrations many times on this channel. My frustrations are not going to be answered in 2025. I know this. They're not going to change the Freedom Flex to the perfect Freedom Flex that I want. I know. They've issued that there are going to be surprise categories with every quarter. Let's see what happens. Freedom Flex, not the card for me. They're not going to make major changes to the Sapphire Preferred that I'm aware of. So instead of my usual frustrations with Chase about their particular cards, I want to do a wish list and try to keep it as realistic as possible. So with that, let's jump into things. And my first wish is for Chase to continue to expand the lounge access available to the Chase Sapphire Reserve. I loved seeing the addition of Air Canada's Maple Leaf lounges. Montreal aside, don't know what happened there. But I want to see this a like partnership with someone like British Airways, so that if you're flying any one world carrier, you can access British Airways executive clubs where available, and have another option so that you're not just flying on so that you're not just stuck to Star Alliance and Maple Leaf lounges, depending on where you're flying. So I want to see British Airways executive clubs first and foremost. I want to see Chase arrange something so that the Sapphire Reserve can gain access into the United clubs. How feasible is this? United clubs, I'm willing to bet not particularly feasible, especially since there's already overcrowding with things like day passes and stuff like that. And if they're not able to do United clubs, I get it. But adding executive clubs would be great. And further, I want to see them continue to expand from the Sapphire lounges that they have announced and that they've opened, and that they're planning to open Philadelphia and Las Vegas. That's great. I want to see additional airports like DFW getting in on the Sapphire Lounge game. Them formally announcing plans for Austin, them looking at other airports like Minnesota or Detroit or not Minnesota, sorry, Minneapolis or Detroit, and continuing to expand from there. Maybe Miami, maybe Fort Lauderdale, get something in Florida or in the Southeast and expand up to Atlanta. That would be solid. But continue to announce Sapphire lounges in addition to these British Airways executive clubs, if possible, and if even more possible, United club lounges. United club, I think, is the least likely. I think we're going to see more Sapphire lounges announced, but I do want to see an expansion like the Air Canada deal that we saw. I think that was brilliant of Chase to make the Sapphire Reserve more desirable to attain, and I want to see more deals like that to continue to make the Sapphire Reserve a card worth getting. Continuing with the Sapphire Reserve, my next item on the wish list is earlier this year, in the last couple of months, I want to say within the last 2 months, Chase has made it possible for you to gain loyalty points and status qualifying nights through the edit. For the Sapphire Reserve only, I want to see the same sort of option outside of the edit. So if you're booking through the Chase travel portal, you can still book with your Hyatt number and get Hyatt nights. You can book Omni with your Omni number and get Omni nights. The Sapphire Reserve should be able to be the card to make it more worthwhile to people to consider going to the Sapphire Reserve. It needs to do something different than the other premium cards like the American Express Platinum and the Capital One Venture X. Well, if you can't gain status through the Capital One travel portal and you can't gain status through the American Express travel portal, the ability to gain status through the Chase travel portal, booking directly with your Sapphire Reserve and only your Sapphire Reserve, would be a way to do that. Now, I know that the travel portal is maybe a little bit more expensive, and to do this, you may not be able to do the full 10x on the Sapphire Reserve. I'd be okay with that if it meant gaining an extra night on Hyatt bookings, or gaining an extra night or gaining Hilton nights through the Sapphire Reserve. Now, I wouldn't have a problem with Hilton nights just because I already book Hilton nights through my Hilton Honors card. So I'm more likely to do that because of the earnings on that card. But the principle remains the same. If I'm interested in joining the Omni program, I have an Omni number, but I'm not necessarily going to book directly through Omni. If I had the option to book an Omni through the travel portal and utilize my Chase points for that, that would be more interesting to me than going through with the than going through directly with Omni and working things that way. So I want to see the Sapphire Reserve become more exclusive by gaining the ability to earn loyalty points through booking in the Chase Travel Portal. So that's my next on the wish list. How feasible is this? Probably not very, but whatever they made work with the edit, I would love to see that work outside of the edit. That's all. The edit, you're only earning 3 points per dollar anyway. If you gave me less earnings but the ability to earn loyalty, I make that trade every day. And continuing to stay with the Sapphire Reserve, I want a resolution on Lyft, whatever's going on with Lyft. I want to see this 10x multiplier become permanent. And in order to do that, the trade I'm going to make is like a 50% off on the membership going forward. Like, you don't get the 2 years and then the third year 50%. You just get a continuous 50% off for the length of whatever contract is next. That means that you get 10 times point earning on Lyft. And since we've already gotten the DoorDash deal extending the Lyft deal is perfect. So that would be huge for the Sapphire Reserve. Extend the point earning capability down to the Freedom, down to the Sapphire Preferred, and maybe look into, granting Lyft capabilities, Lyft Pink All Access at 50% off to the United Club Infinite card, and some perks to the United Explorer, the United Quest, or the IHG Premium, or if a potential, or like pre-announce a IHG Premium card that will carry Lyft as well. I know this would be a bit of a square peg in a round hole for Lyft because Lyft is primarily partnered with Delta and Hilton. That's not my problem. Chase is fronting the money for this, so why not? So let's resolve Lyft. Let's get that taken care of, and we'll continue on. And the final piece for the Sapphire Reserve is not a resolution, but let us know what's going on with Chase Dining. Yes, it's still 10x, and no, the full talk acquisition hasn't happened with American Express yet. But am I going to be earning points through Zagat rated restaurants, or restaurants that have a relationship with Zagat or the Infatuation? What's the deal there? Let's get that resolved. So those are that's primarily my Sapphire Reserve wish list. Chase as a whole, either give me a Hyatt luxury card in 2025 or don't talk about a Hyatt luxury card anymore and just make tweaks to the Hyatt card that we have. $95 annual fee is fine. Discoverist is fine. The 1 to 4 certificate every year is beginning to be a little bit cumbersome, just because 1 to 4, like the four hotels are getting pushed up to 5, and not enough 5s are coming down to 4 to offset it. So we're getting to a place where there's a crunch happening with those free night certificates, where now you have to try to find epic value at a category 3. Can it be done? Yes. Should that be necessary? I don't know. So maybe expand that to either a 1 to 5, or maybe just buff the card to make it easier to spend on, to get more points, to utilize those points to spend free nights at Hyatt's, regardless of the category. I don't know. But I want to see Hyatt fixed. The Hyatt card either tweaked or a luxury Hyatt card introduced so that it stops being a thing. that is just nebulous. And then, honestly, I don't have too much else on the wish list. Lifting the one Sapphire rule would be cool. I don't see why you can't have the Sapphire Reserve and Sapphire Preferred at the same time. Just get a welcome offer on one or the other. And then you can't get a welcome offer on the other one until the 48 months is up. Seems relatively easy to fix. The Freedom cards, my gripes are what they are. They're not going to change anytime soon. Chase has no reason to. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. And I'd like to find out what is going on with this high-end Ink Reserve card. I'm calling it the Ink Reserve, but this supposed business platinum card. But we know that's coming, so it's not really a wish. So yeah, those are just some wishes that I have for the Chase Sapphire Reserve primarily, and Chase in total. I want to see them continue to push whatever they're doing in travel. It's really interesting what's happening with Chase and travel, and I want to see the Sapphire Reserve present itself as a premium card that does things that other premium cards can't, to make the Sapphire Reserve a desirable card, instead of just going, oh yeah, you're good with the Sapphire Preferred, and then like if you want the Reserve, these are things that you can do with it, but like it's not an amazing card. Make it a card worth getting. Unprecedented access to lounges, the ability to earn status through the travel portal would be huge. You can already do it through the edit. It'll only take a little bit more time, a little bit more money, and a little bit more whatever to get it past the edit. But that's just my thoughts. Let me know down below what you think. If you like what I do, hit the like and subscribe button down below. Merry Christmas to all. Happy holidays to all, to whatever holiday you may be celebrating in this season. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate your time. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.